What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about how long it'll take to beat Biomutant. So I've been doing this with past games over the last couple weeks and months, and I've had a lot of fun talking about it. It gives me a chance to, whether it's confirm it. In Biomutant's case, actually, we do have semi-confirmation from the developers of how long a play session will last. So we get to do that, but then we also kind of get to go off and say, is it good? Is that too long? Is it too short? Is it just right? All that stuff, which I do think is quite valuable and quite fun. So we're going to get into it very, very quickly. Again, they talk about some specifics, and then they kind of leave other stuff kind of wide open, which I think gives us a good opportunity to discuss it, right? Make sure if you guys are new here that you guys are subscribed, bell icon turn on. I do loads of these kinds of videos. Not sure if I'm going to get Biomutant, but I definitely am interested, and I see a lot of other people's interest, especially people that are, part of the community, so I definitely understand it. We'll see where it goes, but make sure you guys are subscribed, hit the like button, all that stuff. Also, if you guys want to join our Discord, link is always in the description below. We got a great group of people over there to talk about pretty much anything, okay? So it would be a great place if you guys want to meet new people or whatever, whatever other means you want to do. Okay, so Gaming Bolt, thank God for Gaming Bolt, right? They asked a Biomutant developer how long the game is, and they responded by mentioning that there's two different play styles that can affect the length of the title. A rushed playthrough, as Experiment 101 describes, will last anywhere between 12 to 15 hours. This refers to any players who strictly play the story missions and interact with little else, like Biomutant's weapon building feature. This includes skipping through dialogue and passing on side quests, as well as going straight to any objectives. Very specific. To add on to this, Experiment 101 refers to a team member who is playing through Biomutant right now as well. This developer is going through the game at a pace he would normally play these types of games. Apparently, he's still not done with the title, and his playthrough is running on 65 hours. While vague on the specifics, it sounds like there's a fair amount to do other than the main story. And then the article goes into, it could be padded. They're not always, accurate. And one thing I want to throw in there too is that's something that's very much you need to remember. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not like that. The channel is not like that. It never will be. But one thing I've noticed through years of kind of, looking at these things is that oftentimes when you hear how long a game is, and I try to mention this in all of these game length videos, oftentimes it's exaggerated. Most times. I would say recently it's become less so. Back in the day, developers would, no joke, add almost double the time that it would actually take to what they said. So if the game was like 8 hours long, they'd say, yeah, this is like a 13, 14-hour game. It's like, holy Jesus, what, you play at a snail's pace? Like, you doubled the length. So that used to happen very often. More recently, it's more accurate. I would honestly say it's more accurate. I would still say you chop whatever they say by a little bit, by at least, depends on how long. Like, if percentages will vary. So if they say it's 20 hours, I don't think you chop it in half. I don't even think you take I think you probably take anywhere between 4 and 6 hours from that. But if you say it's 10 hours long, or let's say Biomutant, so they say if you just, and very specific, which does actually kind of lean me more towards they're taking it seriously, like they're taking the question seriously, and they really want to give a truthful answer, because they're very specific. Like, if you skip dialogue, if you literally do nothing, you don't build a weapon, you don't experiment whatsoever, you just do the story, it's going to be 12 to 15 hours. It's a little odd, though, because there's still a 3-hour range, even though they're very specific in, but this is assuming you don't do this, and you don't do this, and you don't do this, but it's still a range. So that's still a little odd. That's still, I would say, a lie, basically, to try to pad the game a little bit. And I'm not going after them. I don't care that much about Biomutant to call them, flat-out liars or anything like that. But I do think there is an element there. And then on the other side of things, the person that's playing it for 65 hours, do I think that that person is a normal person like everybody else who's going to play the game? No, not even remotely close. I guess it sounds more negative than it really is, because I would say what I would tell people, so if I didn't read this, well, I guess if I read this but I didn't read some of the context to it, I would say, okay, probably go in expecting a 10 or so hour story where, yes, you are just doing the story. The skipping dialogue is kind of weird. I don't know why you would say that. The weapon stuff, well, if you skip the weapon stuff and you can still beat the game, is the weapon stuff all that important? Remember when Cyberpunk came out, and I got mad, or I got frustrated with this, and other people did. It turns out we were kind of wrong. There were people reviewing the game that were talking about all these things in the game that they just flat out weren't interested in, so they didn't do. And while I do think if you're reviewing a game, you should do the whole game, like you should try to like play it, actually like do the things in the game. What it turned out to be is, yeah, a lot of the stuff that they were saying they excluded because they just didn't care or wasn't interesting or deep enough, turned out that was true. So to throw that into here, again, I guess to be more negative, even though I'm not trying to be, like, if you can beat it without doing anything to your weapons, it could just mean that the weapons aren't that important. So why would you? Why would you spend time with them? With that being said, I'd say probably like a 10 or so hour game with just going story missions, going just with that. And then if you do everything the game has to offer, that's a little bit more tough. Again, is 65 hours that mark? To have a story or a main mission, even going based off what they said. So say the story is 12 to 15 hours, but then to do everything is, say, 70 or 75. That is quite a lopsided game of, and again, Game Rant, actually, the article that this was from, they actually kind of picked on that, where they said, well, they didn't say the numbers, but if you think about it logically, so you're saying 15 hours is the story, 60 hours is other stuff. That other stuff better be very, very good. Otherwise, it's just padding. It's enormous, probably excessive, and not necessary padding, okay? Again, I don't know why I'm being so negative, because I actually think this game will be rather good. I actually am hoping that it's good and people really enjoy it so that I can feel better if I end up getting it. You know what I mean? So I'm not rooting for this game to be bad whatsoever. I want this game to be good. It's just I think both those numbers, the story is probably close to what they said. I would probably say 10 to 12. I'd probably eliminate just a couple hours. And then doing everything, I honestly would hope it's not 70, because then you're saying that 85% of the game is side stuff, 15% of the game is main stuff, and I don't know if the game would work in that situation. So maybe that's just a person literally, like, he's stopping and examining bushes and he's looking at the sun too much and like stuff like that. Maybe that is what's extending his playtime. But still, look, a big game is not bad. If you buy this game, if this is your one game in May or your one game in the springtime, and you get 50 hours out of it, even though, Alex, it's 15 hours less than what he said. If you get 50 hours out of it, that's a good value. You get a lot of time for your dollar, right? So I have nothing against it. I'm not saying like bad long games are bad or anything like that. Just kind of interesting. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how long the game actually is to just do the main stuff. Sounds very much like a how long to beat that website. The main stuff is this long, but a completionist playthrough would be, a Y time. X time is just the story. Y time is doing everything, right? We'll have to see. I'm sure we'll get the answer very, very soon, if not before. If not before the game, then like a day or two after the game comes out. So let me know, guys, in the comments below. What do you think? How long were you expecting it to be? Do you think these numbers are accurate? Let me know all that stuff in the comments. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. Give the video a like if you did like it. I try to do this with, it's a new series, but I honestly have really enjoyed doing it, and I want to do it with more games going forward. Interaction-wise, these videos do really, really well. I enjoy making them. Hopefully, you guys enjoy watching them. Join our Discord if you guys want to. Links in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.